It's for professionals, but does that mean it's more powerful? The Mark II is a beast of a phone with features focused on production and content creation, and a price tag closing in on the higher end of the smartphone market. So let's check out some numbers. Here's the Xperia 1 Mark II by the benchmarks. I like to start off with the synthetic bench just to do a little light comparison. GeekBench 5 numbers are right in line with other Snapdragon 865 powered phones. Single core and multi-core, mixing it right up with the OnePluses and pulling slightly away from the LG V60. GeekBench graphics numbers show a happy little bump, leading the pack, and this is the first Android phone in my hands that's broken 3000 in OpenCL. And we're in pretty good shape for those Vulkan numbers. There's not a ton, it seems, manufacturers can do to differentiate based on chipset performance, but this is an encouraging start, and Sony's software optimization has been pretty consistent for delivering a premium performance solution. So let's move out of the world of the synthetics. Looking at some real world tests, I love starting off with 4K video rendering. Rendering might be something content creators would want to do directly from their phones. Stitching 6 clips together with transitions, a soundtrack, and a watermark, Sony is nipping at the other premium phones' heels, falling just behind the OnePluses on PowerDirector. The V60 pulls decently ahead of all of the other phones, but those numbers are all a lot closer on KineMaster. Again, the Xperia is just a touch behind our other powerhouse options. This is a trend that continues in our transcoding test. Now, this test is a bit more what someone might see if they're just cutting up one video and not editing a more complex project. Both PowerDirector and KineMaster, Sony scores are competitive, but fall just behind OnePlus and LG. Unsurprisingly, when moving to our compression test, Sony lands similar placement in our results. Again, the built-in benchmark for RARLAB shows a data rate in between the OnePlus 8 and the V60. But our final time for completing a pretty heavy compression test is about 10 seconds slower than the OnePlus 8.
A quick chat about gaming, and it's hard to see much difference in performance here from phone to phone to phone. This is well understood territory and not surprising considering Qualcomm's offerings this year. Battle chasers, unfortunately, we see this phone chug on map navigation. It's a common issue for this PC port, but one which other phones seem to brute force power their way out of. Unfortunately, one of my favorites for showing off game settings, neither Bright Ridge nor Vangelis can really make use of the full display. They top out at an 18:9 aspect ratio. But even turning up all the eye candy, the Xperia is able to keep surprisingly high frame rates, running a handful of other games,
and it doesn't seem like Qualcomm is quite ready yet for true Android 4K gaming. Getting back to some numbers, Anima helps us cross over into battery testing. The Xperia is surprisingly capable considering the battery capacity, high performance chip, and the screen resolution.
And my video streaming test just seems to be getting less relevant with each passing generation. Even upping this to an hour of video over Wi-Fi, it's a screen built for video and you can watch a lot of video on it.
Lastly, a powerful phone, but with a slightly smaller battery than a OnePlus 8. Recharge speeds are very good, but again, not the fastest. This shouldn't come as a surprise as Sony is the king of managing battery performance for longer term battery health. They don't really stress the fastest performance, which might degrade battery longevity. All right, that's enough rambling. Let's wrap this up. Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. By the benchmarks, it would seem for this premium price tag, there's not a lot that differentiates phone from phone using the top chipset. And in most tests, performance falls a sliver behind the competition. But here's what I didn't share with you at the top of this video. With the exception of my battery drain tests, everything here was measured with HS power control activated. Using the high performance profile and bypassing the battery charging, it didn't magically deliver any significant horsepower lead, but it did reduce internal temperatures. I rarely saw battery temps rise above the phone just sitting idle, and that's kind of a big deal. If a pro really wanted to work a phone hard and was considering holding onto that phone for more than a year, it might be nice to know that you're not gonna destroy that battery if you use it while it's plugged in. We might not be grossly outperforming other premium options, But that's a pro feature. As always, folks, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, and subscribing to the channel. If you've been enjoying this series by the benchmarks, let me know down in the comments. I'm trying to find a slightly different way to talk about performance with a focus on real-world apps you can download and try yourself. If these videos aren't shared and supported, well, maybe we'll have to stop making these standalone comparisons. So if you would like to help support the production of these conversations, there are those links in the description below. There's the support page over on SomeGadgetGuy.com, or you might consider joining the list of names currently scrolling by on your screen. That's a growing community of fun, like-minded tech pals, a huge resource for me as I'm planning future videos and reviews and benchmark comparisons. They're just super cool people. Maybe the coolest people. So I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet. At SomeGadgetGuy on the Twitters and the Twitch, the Facebooks and the Instagrams. And I will catch you all on the next video.